Hi, everybody. Today is Monday, August 4th, 2014. Happy Monday! I know that for a lot of people, Mondays are not particularly happy days because it's the start of your work week, but it is the end of mine. This is sort of my Saturdays. So I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Monday, and I will think about you while I'm not working. No, I'm kidding a little bit, although I'm not kidding about it being the beginning of my weekend. As I mentioned before, I'm a DJ, so I work weekends, and this past weekend I even worked on Sunday, so I had a long weekend, so today is my day off, so just kind of chilling a little bit, which is awesome. So, um, uh, as a matter of fact, it's something that happened yesterday at work that I wanted to talk about today. I had a karaoke gig at a local bar, and I put out my tip jar like I normally do, and I had a couple very generous customers that brought stuff up. And then a friend of mine asked me why I put out a tip jar. Now, this friend used to be questioned the tip jar. And she did it in a very kind way, and I'm certainly not calling her out. And I know that she watches these videos, so, I don't want you to feel like I'm picking on you or anything out there, but she made a comment about the tip jar and how she never used to use one, and it got me thinking about that, about tipping in general and what it means. And I know that there are a lot of people that are kind of confused about tip jars and whether, and tipping in the world, like with tipping servers and tipping bartenders and tipping, wait staff at a restaurant and, cocktail waitresses, and then there's tipping DJs and tipping, your karaoke host and all that kind of stuff. And so I just kind of wanted to give you my 2 cents on all that, and you can tell me what you think. So here's what it comes down to me. There are 2 basic types of tipping situations. There is tipping in a restaurant or a bar, like tipping the staff of the establishment itself. So your wait staff and your bartenders and stuff like that. And then there's tipping of extra services. So that would be the DJ and the karaoke guy, or, the DJ at a wedding or whatever. Those kind of things. Those are 2, to me, completely separate categories. And the reason that I say that is because of the way that our wage system is set up in the U.S. In most places, and I know that in California this does not apply. I've been reminded of that numerous times by another friend. But in most places, the hourly wage of people that work in tippable professions is not enough to live on. And so they are basically living on the tips that they make from their customers. And that, first off, upsets me a little bit, because it means that rather than their employers paying them a living wage to bust their butts and run around and be at the beck and call of every one of the employer's customers, where the employer is making all the profits, somehow it's okay for the employer to make it the responsibility of those profit-generating customers to make it so the employees can make enough money to live on. I just think that that's kind of broken. I don't know. To me, that just doesn't make sense. But anyway, the thing to remember is that outside of California, if you are in a restaurant or a bar, the person that is serving you, those tips are what they live on. That is their real wages. That's not, they're not making squat as an hourly wage generally behind those tips. So even if your service is not absolutely spectacular, you are expected to tip as part of the bill. It's not printed on the bill, but it's expected because that's the social convention that has been set up. And I don't like it But unfortunately, until we can make the world a place where waitstaff and servers are making as much money as everyone else in the workplace is and are paid a fair wage to do what I would argue is sometimes more difficult work than what a lot of other people do. Maybe it's not, maybe it doesn't require the same level of training, but it definitely requires a lot of effort and a lot of concentration and a lot of, dedication to do it well. Until we can figure out a way to get those people paid a reasonable wage by the people that are making the profits off of their efforts, I think that you have to tip. You just do. And I think that not tipping is awful because that means that you don't care. You don't want those people to make money. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it from a service, point of view here. That's very possible because that is definitely a point of view that I'm sympathetic to. But all right. So anyway, that's the service, the staff side of things. But when it comes to DJs and karaoke hosts and people where a tip, and I'll even talk about, I might even include like bellhops at a hotel here. Although I'll be honest, I've never been a bellhop, so I don't really know what their wage system is, but it strikes me that they are probably in the second category rather than the first. But I don't really know. Anyway, when it comes to those sorts of jobs, when you tip, it is different. Instead of it being something that the person requires to make a living wage, it's an expression of gratitude for what that person is doing. And it's not usually that the DJ, we'll just keep saying DJ so I don't have to keep repeating the rest of it. When the DJ, is really humping for that tip jar, it's not usually a matter of the DJ needs that money in order to be able to live. It's more the act of dropping $1 into that tip jar is the unspoken thank you that DJ, I think, is really kind of a nice acknowledgement of the effort that the DJ puts in to try and make everybody happy in the bar. It's so, I know that there are a lot of people out there that don't even think about possibly tipping a DJ. And I know this from personal experience because I don't make a ton of tips, but I honestly don't worry about it that much either. But I know that the tip jar is not a real big deal to a lot of people that go out. They don't think about it. They'll make requests. And generally, it doesn't bother me. Now, every once in a while, I will get irritated as like the drunk chick that comes up to the DJ booth and shoves the tip jar aside so she can lean on the thing and make 8 requests. Okay, that gets old, right? Because there's a symbolic nature to that you're like, really? Come on. But I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. It's a way. And the funny thing is, for the longest time, I didn't put out a tip jar at my shows because I thought that it would look like I was begging for money, and I don't want that. And I don't want people to ever act like money is is such a major motivator for me that I'm willing to do anything for it, because as a lot of people that have ever been to my shows know, I sort of react the opposite way to that. If you try to give me, hey, if you play my song next, I'll give you $20. Generally, I respond really negatively to that because to me, that's more like a bribe, than it is a tip. Tip me because I'm doing a good job, not because you want to get your way. That's just smacks of a kind of condescendingness to it that it just bugs me. So anyway, that's something that has always bothered me. And so for the longest time, I never even put a tip jar out. And then about a year ago, I had somebody yell at me because they wanted to tip me, but I didn't have a tip jar out. And so they felt awkward because they wanted to give me a couple dollars, and it wasn't a big deal. But, they were like, well, if you don't put a tip jar out, how are people supposed to say thank you without having to put themselves in an awkward situation? And I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, that's an interesting way to look at it. I guess I never would have thought of that. That's the way that some people want to say thank you. So nothing about this video. I don't want anybody to feel like this is a call to action when it comes to me. I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to guilt trip them into tipping me at karaoke shows or DJ gigs or anything like that. Because it's not that. It's not that at all. I just thought that it was interesting. I do think that you should keep that sort of in the back of your head when the next time you go out to eat and somebody is waiting on your table, or the next time you're sitting at the bar and that bartender is busting their butt to get you and the other 35 loud people at the bar beers. Kind of keep those things in your head, because those people, that's what they're living on. But for us DJs and karaoke people, it's a way to say thank you. It's a different way to say thank you, but it's whatever you think is best when it comes to those folks. I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I'm always curious about stuff like this. I know that it can be a little bit of a divisive topic. I've seen it pop up on Facebook and other social media spots before on how tipping upsets some people. But, it's one of those situations where right now the world that we live in is set up in such a way that I don't think it's right to punish the people that are doing the job currently in order to try and make some kind of a statement. And so, get the laws changed so that way the people that are doing those jobs are making a living wage, great, but don't punish the people that are already doing the job right now in the meantime. That's just not right. So, anywho, let me know what you think. Have a great Monday, you guys. I hope everybody gets outside and enjoys what looks like is at least a kind of a pretty day today. Maybe not as muggy, crazy hot as yesterday was, but who knows. And you guys will see me tomorrow. Bye.